House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is pushing House Republicans to back his debt ceiling plan.
House Republican leadership held a closed-door meeting on this issue today. McCarthy pledged to pass a bill to raise the debt limit for 1 year. The plan would be coupled with a 1% cap on future federal spending. The Speaker wants to pass the package in the House to kickstart debt ceiling negotiations with the White House.
CBS News political correspondent Caitlin Huey-Burns joins us now. Caitlin, what do you expect Republican lawmakers are going to do when faced with McCarthy's debt ceiling plan? Is it going to receive their full-hearted support?
That is the biggest question that everybody on Wall Street especially is eager to know. And what's important to consider here is that the margin for error is so slim. Remember, you need 218 votes for this. If you look back to earlier in the year, that fight over McCarthy's speakership tells you kind of everything you need to know about how slim the margins are in the House. You have some lawmakers saying that they don't want to raise the debt ceiling at all. So that's kind of a starting point there. So the big question is, do these points that McCarthy unveiled persuade any of those holdouts to vote for a package to increase or raise the debt ceiling? Lawmakers coming out of the meeting today told our Capitol Hill team that they are, still looking and considering and waiting to see kind of what this actually looks like. Still a long way to go. But what's significant here is that not only do you have to make it out of the House GOP conference, then it has to pass muster in the Senate. So still a long way to go. But the biggest hurdle facing lawmakers here is whether you can get enough Republicans around this idea. Meanwhile, the White House says they don't want to negotiate on the debt ceiling at all. So it shows you how far apart those two sides are.
And on the subject of rallying for support, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is in Washington today holding an event with GOP lawmakers. Where does his support stand? Is he getting more from Capitol Hill? He's been passing these bills that are very much to the further right and that do represent some of the values that a lot of these candidates, when they were candidates, were running on. Is he getting that?
Yeah, it's such an interesting question, Lilia, because that's kind of the biggest question heading into the 2024 presidential race is whether and when Ron DeSantis will jump into the race. And what's been really interesting to see on Capitol Hill that there hasn't really been a lot of lawmakers rushing to endorse him. In fact, we've seen some endorsing Trump. Trump has also, been rolling out Florida lawmakers who are supporting him as a way to kind of stick it to DeSantis. So DeSantis does have some work to do on Capitol Hill in terms of getting endorsements from lawmakers who, if they're not endorsing Trump yet, they are, looking at the field and trying to figure out kind of who to get behind at this point. But it's significant because DeSantis, we've talked about, he's been on his book tour. He's been going to early states. This is another stop to kind of take the temperature and try to cultivate support ahead of a likely run.
And then the Trump camp knocks him out with these ads. My gosh, it's getting really intense, and he hasn't even announced.
Absolutely. And I think that tells you everything you need to know about kind of how this race is shaping out. And I think that's such an interesting point, Lilia, which is that Donald Trump and his team have been very overt in going after DeSantis. It's not, the traditional kind of, well, let's see who else is in the race. This is a very sharp attack.
Overt
directed.
And graphic.
Yes, absolutely. And he's getting it from both sides. Democrats are very eager to go after DeSantis for that bill that he recently signed last week, banning abortions in his state at 6 weeks. So, a lot of people waiting to see what he decides to do.
Well, speaking of the GOP primary on Red and Blue tonight, you're speaking with presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy about his run for president. Caitlin, tell us, what does he bring to the Republican field?
Yeah, everybody talks about Nikki Haley, who's also in the race. Tim Scott launched an exploratory committee, but Ramaswamy has been in the race for a while now. He's a 37-year-old, made a ton of money leading a pharmaceutical company, and he wrote this book called Woke Inc. and has really kind of been making the rounds on Fox News and kind of in conservative circles as someone kind of willing to take that on. He's been very critical of Ron DeSantis, especially these moves that he's made against Disney in his state, but he isn't as critical as Donald Trump and kind of wants to be kind of the alternative, focusing on those kinds of issues here. But we're going to ask him to kind of assess the field at this point, see what he brings, what he wants to bring. He's someone who could finance his own campaign. So the money element is interesting as to how far he can go, but also how far he can influence this race, perhaps.
We'll be watching. Caitlin Huey-Burns, thank you.
Thank you.
And you can too. Stream Red and Blue tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern right here on CBS News.